Hello everyone, how's it going? In this video, we're going to talk about Lucid trading under the ticker symbol LCID. So it's definitely been an interesting roller coaster ride with this company, and in this video, we're going to look at it once again and to see what happened recently and what should be done about it. Before the video begins, if you like what I do, please consider to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. So during the recent week, the stock of Lucid Motors LCID has had a pretty consistent performance amid the prevailing conditions of the broader market. The stock displayed a phase of consolidation and demonstrated a repeated pattern of consolidation in a predefined range. So currently, the Nasdaq 100 index, which is very influential and includes a lot of big name in the technology focused stocks, underwent a sequence of upward movements following a subsequent retracement. So Lucid Motors released its earning report during the second quarter of 2023, and it presented a mixture of positive and negative aspects. The broad market experienced a downturn, but Lucid Motors managed to maintain its current price pattern. So, an assessment provided by Yahoo Finance projects the target to be around $8. The valuation seems to be relatively conservative, of course, compared to prior market expectation, anticipation, and historic price levels. Lucid Motors is positioned as a pretty robust player in the EV industry, poised to rival the established players like Tesla. The company's strategic focus is revolving around the production of high-end and high-performance EVs, and it adopts a pretty comprehensive approach spanning from the vehicle's foundation to its top-tier functionalities. Now, it tries to set itself apart from other rival companies by offering a physical studios that enable potential customers to engage with its product lineup. Now, in the present landscape, of course, there is no immediate catalyst that can substantially and significantly boost the company's market price. But Lucid Motors has embarked on an extensive marketing tour, which indicates its efforts to increase its market presence, the attention that it should get from potential investors and clients, and also the sentiment that is around the block and among the analysts, including the industry observers, suggests that Lucid can be somewhat undervalued, which leaves more room for a potential resurgence in the stock price. With that being said, that resurgence may not materialize with immediate swiftness, but the expectation, of course, of a gradual improvement persists around. It's notable that the consistent support level appears to be established around $5.50, which indicates a price point where the stock has demonstrated a lot of resilience against further downward shifts. Now, the technical indicators provide some insights into the near-term outlook for Lucid Motors' stock price. The indicators assess that the recent price trends and the patterns are supposed to continue. It's also trading below its 50-day moving average, which is a sign that the recent price levels are below the average over the past 50 days. This could imply a relatively downward bias in the short term, and the stock price has been fluctuating within a range between $5.50 and overall $6.50. The range-bound behavior could persist unless a significant external factor or many external factors drive for a breakout. Now, one crucial technical level is, of course, the $5.50. It's a strong support level, and if the stock approaches this price point, it might be recommended to start buying. Meanwhile, the options trading shows a recent increase in the purchase of put options, which could indicate a sentiment for potential downward movement in the near term, whether it's profit taking, whether it's just the bulls needing a break. It could be both. So, despite this, the recent calls and put data display has divided the sentiment amongst investors. Some do anticipate a price range of $6 to $7 by the upcoming Friday. These technical indicators collectively suggest a mixed outlook. The oversold hints are, potentially buying, but the stock's position below the 50-day average and the rise in put options also imply caution. So the next steps of the stock could be influenced by the upcoming events, the launch of Lucid's Gravity and Sapphire. These events can act as significant catalysts, affecting the short-term price trajectory. The short interest in Lucid Motors is a noticeable aspect that investors should be aware. So, the short interest refers to the number of shares investors borrowed and sold, anticipating the stock price to keep dropping. The investors aim to buy back the shares at a lower price, return them to the lender, and to profit from the difference. The short interest is a metric about the market sentiment. A high interest percentage could indicate many investors believe that the stock is going to tank, while a low percentage means that people are generally optimistic about it. Now, for those considering buying Lucid stock, the short interest may offer some insights, because a high short interest can suggest that some investors have some reservations about the performance. Of course, it's not the only thing that matters, and it doesn't really overshadow by itself the full picture. Should short interest become a major factor in deciding to buy Lucid stock, I don't think that this is the case. I don't think that it should be. A high short interest can lead to, of course, a short squeeze, a situation where the short sellers rush to buy back the shares, causing the stock price to rise rapidly. This can result in losses to short sellers and gains for those who are long. But of course, this is not guaranteed. The stock price might not rise as expected, which leads to disappointment for those who are hoping for a squeeze, or especially those who bought the shares just for that. Investors should consider the short data alongside other issues. So the company's fundamentals, the recent price point, like the price action performance, the market trends, they all provide a more comprehensive view. So, with that being said, the recent trading activity does indicate a mixed bag of good and bad news. Lucid stock closed flat with slight selling signals, but also some positive feedback as well. The trading volume is currently around like 26 million shares, with the average around 28 million. The majority of those transactions are long, including the activity in the dark pool. So the options are actually quite divided, overall a little bit bearish. The short interest is around 24% of free float, so it's definitely significant, and it can be an important factor to buy, to buy Lucid shares just for a short squeeze. However, it shouldn't be the only thing that encourages people to buy it. With that being said, I think that overall the sentiment is nuanced. Some indicators are optimistic, others are recommending more caution. Event like the Gravity launch could be a pivotal point in shaping the sentiment moving forward. The stock's history of stability and popularity really underlines that mixed sentiment. And ultimately, investors should interpret this mixed sentiment in a various way. In my personal opinion, I do believe that Lucid has a place in the EV sector even 5 to 10 years from now. With that being said, I also believe that Lucid should be considered as an investment position, not really something to trade around. And this is why I would recommend to slowly buy in Lucid over time. And now might be an interesting entry point as well. Keep in mind, though, that a few years from now, we might actually have a major correction on the NASDAQ, something that we didn't necessarily have across the board. It just happened to the most speculative ones. This is why I do believe that if we have something that's more significant, that might be a good opportunity to go in and to increase our exposure. Now is a good time to start buying. So maybe, over the course of next 3 months, buy up to 2% of your portfolio in Lucid. And then over the next 2 years, maybe buy up to 5 to 8% of your portfolio in Lucid. So that would be my recommendation.